Good evening. Welcome to North West Tonight with Annabelle Tiffin. Our top story. A BBC investigation finds hundreds of LGBT people suffered electric shock treatment in NHS hospitals in the 60s and 70s.
It was cruel, barbaric punishment, torture, not therapy.
There are now calls for a full government apology. Also tonight, a court hears the Manchester Synagogue attacker carried out hostile surveillance of a UK defence site weeks before the terror assault. Network Rail condemns a fake image of a bridge collapse which closed part of the West Coast Main Line for 2 hours.
Because I found, can I say this is for you?
And Santa started early in Liverpool, giving gifts and gathering presents for youngsters who would otherwise go without.
And despite the rain we've got now and strong winds, today hasn't been too bad. We did see some glimmers of sunshine. How are we doing into this weekend? Join me at the end of the programme. I'll give you all the details.
The government is being urged to make a formal apology to hundreds of gay and transgender people, including children, who were subjected to painful electric shocks in NHS hospitals in the 60s and 70s. A North West Tonight investigation has found that at least 250 and possibly as many as 1,000 LGBT people underwent what they say were barbaric attempts to change their sexuality. Many of the procedures were carried out at Crumpsall Hospital in Manchester. One man lost consciousness and suffered post-traumatic stress disorder. Here's Hayley Hassell's special report.
Jeremy Gavins is now 72 and lives in Ulverston. But when he was 17 years old, at St Bede's Catholic Grammar School in Bradford, he told a teacher that he was in love with a boy.
His exact words were, "You've got a horrible disease, you will be expelled immediately. Unless you agree, we can cure you."
This led to a referral to an NHS hospital and a process called aversion therapy.
I sat on this chair and he fastened a strap around my left hand and I got a pain in my arm here and he said, "Did it hurt?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Good, it's meant to." It's somebody sticking a jagged knife in the side of your arm and scraping it down.
Jeremy's experience wasn't unique. Between 1963 and 1971, records from one clinical trial indicate at least 73 LGBT plus people were treated with electric shock therapy at Crumpsall Hospital in Manchester. Pauline Collier became part of the electric shock therapy trial at just 19.
He taped electrodes to my arms and gave me a series of shocks. They made me sweat, and they made me flinch. You become very anxious and very frightened.
These Manchester registers, dating back to the 1960s, list the patients as volunteers. But looking closer, I can see that at least 18 of them have been referred for treatment from the court system. It also says that 4 of them have psychiatric illnesses, and at least 5 of them were children. In the 1960s, there was very little public understanding of trans people. At just 17 years old, Carolyn underwent electric shock treatment.
My hand shot up in the air, pain racked through my body, tears rolled down my face. It was cruel, barbaric punishment, torture, not therapy.
There are now calls for a full and formal acknowledgement of the harm caused. Lord Smith was the UK's first openly gay MP.
I think the very least that the country as a whole and the NHS ought to do is make a formal apology to everyone who was adversely affected by this. This was just inhumane.
The effects of those shocks didn't end in the treatment room.
It did damage me.
One of the tenets of being a doctor is do no harm. It did harm.
Decades after his treatment, Jeremy received a written response from the Catholic Church Diocese of Leeds, offering a heartfelt apology. The trial conducted at Crumpsall Hospital was overseen by academics at Manchester University. In a statement, the university said the attitudes that informed the Crumpsall trials were widely and openly held in the 1960s. Knowing this, however, can only add to the trauma of those who endured such treatment, and we would like to express our regret and sorrow for being part of that environment. We understand the Department for Health and Social Care is now investigating the historic use of aversion therapy in the NHS.
And you can see Hayley's full documentary. It is on BBC One at 7:30 this evening. It's also available on the BBC iPlayer. And if you've been affected by anything in her report, you can go to the BBC Action Line website for support. The details are there on your screen now. Next tonight, a court has heard that a man from Manchester took the Heaton Park Synagogue attacker on a hostile surveillance mission to a UK defence site. Mohammed Bashir is accused of driving Jihad al-Shami nearly 200 miles to a defence facility in Oxfordshire weeks before al-Shami attacked the synagogue. 2 Jewish worshippers died in the terrorist assault. Helena Wilkinson reports from Westminster Magistrates Court.
Well, this morning here at Westminster Magistrates Court, Mohammed Bashir, who's 31 and who police describe as British Pakistani, appeared for a short hearing. He stood in the dock to confirm his name, address and date of birth. He is facing 4 charges. One is preparation for acts of terrorism and 3 charges of dissemination of terrorist publications. Now, to be clear, these charges are not directly linked to the synagogue attack in Manchester. The court heard today that Mohammed Bashir allegedly drove the synagogue attacker from Manchester to the UK Defence Academy in Oxfordshire, a journey by car which takes over 5 hours each way. And the prosecution in court today described the trip as a hostile reconnaissance. The prosecutor, Sally Ann Russell, told the court that the pair stopped at the facility for 13 minutes. The alleged trip also was made 7 weeks before al-Shami attacked the synagogue. Mr. Bashir is also accused of sharing terrorist publications with al-Shami and others over WhatsApp. Mr. Bashir was arrested on the 27th of November at Manchester Airport. Now, he will remain in custody, and he was told today in court that his next court appearance will be at the Old Bailey at the end of next week. Helena Wilkinson, North West Tonight.
Delays to the refurbishment of Manchester Town Hall have been described as a disaster of project management by opposition councillor Richard Kilpatrick. An extra £95 million is needed to finish the restoration, and the work is expected to take at least another 6 more months to finish. It will now cost over £500 million and is expected to reopen in early 2027. 2 of the world's rarest lions have arrived at Chester Zoo. The pair of highly endangered Asiatic lions, Nile and Shanti, have been genetically matched together as part of an international conservation breeding programme to safeguard the species. Conservationists say the duo has formed an instant connection and are hopeful they'll go on to have cubs in the future. Now, railway bosses have condemned a fake image of a bridge collapse suspected of being AI-generated, which terrified staff on a train heading for Lancaster. The hoax photo forced Network Rail to close part of the West Coast Main Line for 2 hours early yesterday. The image appeared on social media shortly after the earthquake, which shook Lancashire on Wednesday night. Phil McCann reports.
This is the Carlisle Bridge, and it has been crossing the River Lune and the roads next to it here in Lancaster since the 19th century, carrying thousands of passengers every year on the West Coast Main Line between Scotland and ultimately London. But in the early hours of yesterday, as we reported on North West Tonight yesterday, there was a small earthquake very close to here, centred underneath the seafloor in Morecambe Bay, not too far from Lancaster at all. And of course, when that earthquake happened, there was an awful lot of chatter online, and in amongst all that chatter, a photo started to be shown of this bridge. That photo shows this bridge in this exact location where we're standing, with a large chunk of masonry that appears to have fallen off the bridge and onto the road below. And around about where I'm standing, there's also a kind of chasm or kind of sinkhole. Now, Network Rail, which runs the railway, says it was alerted to this by people who'd seen it online. And at that point, around 12:30 in the morning, they stopped all the trains travelling across it. between then and 2 o'clock in the morning. That delayed 32 services, passengers and freight. Workers had to come here and inspect the bridge, and of course they found that it is just as solid as it has been for many decades. Now, Network Rail in a statement say, "We will always take any safety concerns seriously." They say the disruption caused by the creation and sharing of hoax images and videos like this creates what they say is a completely unnecessary delay to passengers at a cost to the taxpayer.
It's so difficult to tell now that images have been created, that they're AI or whether they're real. Everybody has to take them seriously, and there's got to be ways of discouraging what might seem like a harmless prank at the time, but actually has such serious implications. It's probably only going to get more and more difficult to challenge them, so the technology to check whether it's real or not has got to be there as well.
Now, the image of what supposedly happened here certainly looks to be AI generated. Now, Network Rail says that it reported this to the British Transport Police, but BTP say that there is currently no ongoing investigation. Phil McCann, BBC North West Tonight, Lancaster.
Now, one of the key figures in the takeover of Morecambe Football Club has been accused of buying weapons and raising money for two Sikh groups prescribed as terrorist organisations. Gurpreet Singh Rahal has been banned as a company director as part of sanctions imposed by the UK government. Morecambe's MP says that she's appalled that the club's fans are suffering because of his alleged conduct. Phil Cunliffe reports.
We are here for the betterment of the club, so trust us.
A reassuring voice, just what fans wanted to hear after months of worry. Gurpreet Singh Rahal was the frontman for Punjab Warriors' takeover bid. When the deal was concluded in August, Morecambe becoming the first top 5-tier English club under Sikh ownership, he was described as head of communications. But there's been a shocking twist. According to the Treasury, Rahal is alleged to have recruited, purchased weapons and provided finance for two organisations linked to terrorism. Baba Khalsa and Baba Akali Lahar are militant groups prescribed and sanctioned under UK law, which aim to create an independent Sikh state in the Punjab region of India. Rahal's UK assets have been frozen and he's been banned from being a company director. Today, the club said an individual who previously held a consultancy role in marketing and communications was no longer affiliated with either Morecambe FC or Punjab Warriors. They added the individual never had any involvement in ownership or decision-making. The MP for Morecambe and Lunesdale, Labour's Lizzie Collins, said that she was shocked and horrified that a communications officer previously involved with Morecambe is suspected of funding a pro-Khalistan terrorist group.
Another bit of negative publicity, or publicity that's taking focus off what should be the most important thing, and that's the football.
It's embarrassing. It's not great for the club. You know, we've gone through so much rubbish through the last, well, years and whatever, and this is just another added to it, but hopefully the statement they've put out today will help it.
Although Punjab Warriors have distanced themselves from Rahal, questions will be asked about their recruitment and due diligence in allowing someone who wasn't even an employee to become the public face of their organisation. Phil Cunliffe, BBC North West Tonight, Morecambe.
Now, over the last few nights, we've been looking back at the devastating storms of 2015. Storm Desmond was followed by Storm Eva just after Christmas 10 years ago. Almost the whole region was impacted, but particularly Lancashire and the Isle of Man. Stuart Pollitt's been to meet some of those who were affected.
December 2015, large parts of Lancashire left underwater. First by Storm Desmond, and then on Boxing Day by Storm Eva. This was Kelly Hughes at her flooded hair salon in Worley.
Everyone's lended a hand and we'll be back open tomorrow at 9 o'clock.
A decade on, Kelly's still open, but her insurance has quadrupled in price.
When I look back, I don't believe what I actually did and how we did it and how we managed, because the whole salon was just absolutely trashed. It was 10 years ago, but within those 10 years, we've still had some flash floods.
A river running through Reed Garden Centre and Cafe. Sue and Sarah only opened a year before. They nearly lost everything.
We did our research before we came down, and it'd never been flooded in 50 years. So obviously this was a total shock and devastating to us.
It's amazing when we stand here how far above the river we are, to think that that made it in here.
Yeah, the whole Garden Centre Cafe was in the river. That's kind of what it was like.
Stock was going down the river, just nothing we could do.
They can't get insurance, but have built some flood defences and rebuilt their business.
Even now we do get flood warnings and it does come up really high.
So it's like anxiety. And I know you pay the price for having such a lovely location, but it is always there.
There were shocking scenes across the region. Lancaster's main substation and fire station were both underwater, meaning fire crews had to move bases. Kirsty was on duty during this period.
I don't think I'll have many more like that in my career. It was just pretty much non-stop. It was just incident after incident. It's devastating seeing the impact to people's homes, people's livelihoods.
St Michael's on Wyre suffered days of flooding. The military were called in to help repair damage in Croston. In Greater Manchester, Rochdale streets resembled rivers. On the Isle of Man, there were landslides, flooded roads and damaged buildings. This 200-year-old bridge collapsed and left a double-decker bus partially submerged in Laxey River.
We just could not cope with the volumes of water on that day. And, yeah, it was a very difficult day.
The impact of the devastation that was wreaked a decade ago across the region is still keenly felt by those who were impacted. But what they really want to know now, a decade on, is are their homes and businesses any safer if we see similar storms?
In Lancashire, it's been a massive reconstruction job. So over the course of the last 10 years, we've spent around 320 million repairing around 200 defences. And we're in a much better place now than we were before. Around 39,000 homes are better protected than they were before either happened across the region.
Do you feel any safer, any better protected than 10 years ago?
No, not at all. Not at all, because, you know, they've done a little bit on the river, which is brilliant. You know, I get, you know, that's great. But I think what I witnessed in September, that, you know, we can potentially flood again.
It may be 10 years ago, but the impact of this extreme weather has been long-lasting. Stuart Pollitt, BBC North West Tonight.
Right, we're going to move on to sport now, and Sale Sharks start their European Champions Cup campaign at home to Glasgow Warriors this evening. Ian is there for us for that and the rest of the sport. So, Ian, I mean, this is a big deal, isn't it? Is there lots of excitement there?
There's always excitement when I'm around, Annabelle, let me tell you that. Welcome to the Corpac Stadium anyway. It's a really cold night here. Sale Sharks hoping to get off to a winning start in their European campaign this season. Unfortunately, without 6 of their England internationals, including the wonderful George Ford here. George, thank you for joining us. You were so key to England's recent successes in the autumn internationals and to Sale when the Prem returned last week. So really frustrating for you at this moment, but hopefully back soon.
Yeah, frustrating. Yeah, like obviously whenever you pick up an injury or a little niggle, it frustrates you. It's not too bad. It's just a bit of tightness. Won't be too long, so hopefully be back out there with the boys soon.
Hopefully so. Yeah. How would you assess Sale Sharks so far this season, George? Only 2 wins from 6 in the Prem, but as we know, this team is always there or thereabouts come the end of the season.
Yeah. Look, if you look at results, it's been disappointing. We're not going to shy away from that, but we believe still. There's been aspects of our game that have been good. There's been aspects that need to be better. So that's what we're doing. We'll be working hard every day. We'll be working hard every game day to try and get results, because we're in a results-based business and we need to pick wins up.
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk about tonight if we can. Glasgow Warriors here have about half the Scotland team in their side. You've got a couple of Scotland players yourself. It's a tough task, isn't it, tonight?
Yeah, look, they're a great team. I think they won the URC a couple of years back. So look, it's going to be a big challenge for us. They've got some quality international players. They take this competition very seriously, so for us, what an opportunity. It's an exciting one. We've got some guys who are out there today who've not had maybe much game time this year and have got their opportunity to come and play, so looking forward to it. I think it'll be a good performance from us, full of energy.
As a final point, back to you, if we can, how pleased are you with those performances for England in the recent internationals? I mean, the performance against the All Blacks, it was a masterclass and everybody was talking about it. You must be well chuffed with that. Yeah,
look, we had a good 4 weeks. We obviously picked 4 wins up on the way, which is always nice, but the main thing I took away from it was the togetherness of the group, how we enjoyed each and every day together, and then ultimately coming out on the winning side of 4 games, playing for your country, there's nothing better than that.
No, absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us, George, and we hope to see you back on the field soon. Thank you very much, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Let's get some of the other sport now and onto the Premier League. It's back tomorrow. It feels like it's never been away, doesn't it? But Manchester United manager... Elsewhere, Preston and Blackburn are both in Championship action. The Women's Super League returns, and it's the FA Cup second round. That gets underway tonight as our own Salford City host Leyton Orient. Of our lowest ranked sides, Buxton here of the National League North have a tough game away at Cheltenham of League 2 tomorrow, while having beaten AFC Totton by 6-3 in round 1. Macclesfield are away at fellow non-league side Slough. That's live on TV on Sunday.
I think knowing we've got that opportunity to potentially get to the third round means a lot to us as a football club, not just to the players but to the whole football club, because you know what it can bring. So we'll definitely be doing our very best to hopefully give the football club that opportunity.
And of course that game will be covered like many others across our BBC local radio stations across the weekend, and here to tell you more about that are some of the faces behind the voices.
Under pressure, Arne Slot's Liverpool go to Leeds at 5:30 on BBC Sounds, and before that at 3, Everton take on Forest on Radio Merseyside.
On BBC Radio Manchester, we've got 3 FA Cup commentaries for you. Tonight, Salford take on Leyton Orient. Tomorrow afternoon, Bolton Wanderers go to Swindon. And then on Sunday, Macclesfield are away at Slough.
And here in Lancashire, we've full match commentary of 7 games across the weekend from the Premier League, the Championship, the National League and the FA Cup. Join us Sunday for Blackpool Carlisle from 5.
A rogues gallery there. You can keep across all those matches on BBC Sounds as mentioned. Here at the Corpac Stadium tonight, it's Sale Sharks against Glasgow Warriors. It all gets underway at 8 o'clock. From here, it's very cold. Back to you, Annabelle.
Oh, thank you very much, Ian. Yeah, we're going to find out how cold it is, actually. Kay's going to be here with the weather forecast in just a moment. But first, Christmas has come early for some children in Liverpool. The Joseph Lappin Centre in Old Swan welcomed Father Christmas today as part of a special programme for BBC Radio Merseyside to gather up presents for their Give a Gift campaign. Mairead Smith was there. Did she make the nice list, I wonder?
The choir from St Oswald's Catholic Primary opening the show this afternoon. Singing here as part of their tour around care homes and churches before Christmas.
I've been in this choir since year 5 now, so it means everything to me. It really does.
What does it do to make you get in this Christmas mood, the Christmas spirit, Robin?
Well, for me, it's all throughout the year because I love Christmas. But I feel like the main reason would be like singing, because that's something that I love to do. And if I'm angry or upset, I just sing and it helps me.
The Joseph Lappin Centre helps this community throughout the year. Today, they're working with BBC Radio Merseyside to gather up gifts and donations for families.
We're just asking people if you can spare anything, you can just drop it, however small, just drop it into us and we will make sure it gets to the right person.
And of course, the main man in red is here. You are meeting lots of the children here from Old Swan. Are you confident that they're on your nice list?
I have to say, I've been all over the world and there's no kids better than Old Swan.
What are you going to ask for this year?
A lava lamp.
A lava lamp. And what colour? Anything in particular?
Pink and blue, probably. Lava lamp.
A lava lamp? Lava lamps are very popular.
A remote control car.
A remote control car? That is cool. Let's hope Santa has enough lava lamps this year. What's your favourite Christmas song?
My favourite Christmas song is probably Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Ooh, that's a good one. Can you give me a little bit of Rudolph, do you think?
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose like a light bulb, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows.
Mairead Smith, BBC North West Tonight, Liverpool.
I love the little like a light bulb bit. Now, you can make donations of new unwrapped gifts to the Joseph Lappin Centre or to BBC Radio Merseyside until the 19th of December. Right. You're not going to sing the weather for us, are you?
I love that addition.
Great,
no, I'm not
it?
going to sing the weather. No.
What's it like?
Well, I mean, here we can see the moon. I asked last night photos of the final supermoon of 2025, the cold moon, and you provided. Thank you, Joe, for that photo. And in Kirby, gorgeous photos. Don't know how you did that. Absolutely stunning. Thank you so much for sending them in. Of course, I love to see your photos. You can always follow me on socials if you want to, or you become a BBC weather watcher. Let me know what it's like in your part of the world, which, if anything, tonight it will be windy and it will be wet. Lots of Christmas parties happening this evening. Into the weekend, it is going to stay quite breezy. And there will be further showers. Some of them are going to be heavy at times. It's this front that's brought all the heavy rain. It has cleared. Behind it, though, showers, some heavy, potentially even thundery in nature. The isobar is still tightly squeezed, so it will be a breezy weekend. So the showers continue to pile in on this strong and gusty southerly breeze. So the air is not cold, but it certainly will be windy. We're looking at gales as we head through this evening, or severe gales for the Isle of Man. And as we get towards the end of the night, they'll be down to about 30 to 40 miles per hour. Temperature-wise, I mean, we're not talking about frost. Lots of cloud, showery outbreaks of rain, the odd rumble of thunder is possible. So it will be a poor start tomorrow morning for many. We should see some drier interludes as we go into the afternoon, but then showers are never too far away. And it still will be breezy, although not as strong a wind as today. Top temperatures above average for the time of year, 12 degrees, 54 in Fahrenheit. Sunday, the best of the dry and the bright weather early doors. We are going to see cloud increasing and further showers merging into longer spells of rain later in the afternoon. Still gusting around 15 to 30 miles per hour. Top temperatures 12 degrees. At the minute, Monday doesn't look too bad, but Monday night, a deep area of low pressure. It's not yet been named, but it could potentially be a storm. That's the forecast.
Oh, we really don't want to hear that, do we?
I know, it's mild, wet and windy. We want snowy, crisp and even,
yeah, although you are making up for it with your beautiful festive look.
I like to bring the sparkle wherever possible.
Fabulous, you've done it. That's it from us. Nick will be here with our late update at 10:30. Bye-bye.
Bye.